Live from New York, New York, United States of America, planet Earth, Milky Way Galaxy, Cluster 7, I think. I forgot the name of it. It's Ask an Engineer.
Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Engineer. It's me, Lady Ada. With me is Mr. Lady Ada, your resident hacker goths. Just doing our weekly show as we do every Wednesdays, 8 p.m. We're here at the Adafruit Factory, which is our goth cave full of electronics. It's where we do all of our design and shipping and testing and engineering. Got an exciting show for you tonight. We got an hour of things, lots of news, lots of videos. Happy birthday, USA!
Yeah.
What's on tonight's show?
How old is the country? 234 years?
42
years?
Yeah.
43 years? It's a lot. There's lots of different dates that people say is the birth, when the first shots are fired or when a thing was signed and all this stuff. Anyways, we got a show. We'll talk about the Federalist Papers later. That's the other show. Okay, on tonight's show, the code is Yay USA. Yay USA.
Yay.
10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Everything except for AdaBox and gift certificates. I think that's everything. It supports us, an open source hardware company in New York City. This is all of us. This is what we do. This is who we are.
Americans.
No loans, no venture capital. Your orders help pay the bills here.
Yay, USA.
Show and tell. Makers around the world showing and sharing their projects. We had a bunch of cool projects and more. Packed Mailbag's going to stop by. We have a letter and we have voicemail. Time travel. Back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers. We have a special history edition this week. I'm in New York City. Factory footage from the Adafruit Factory. Nimbus, the friendly cloud entity, is going to stop by. We got that Alexa show thing. It's a little weird.
It's weird.
I'm not going to talk about that. 3D printing, some cool 3D printing videos, Microbit Mondays, Pi Day. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to have some top secret. Going to have a trivia question, all that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer.
Woo.
Okay. Let's do this. Don't forget.
Yes.
Code is Yay USA. Yay USA.
Or Yayusa.
Yeah, or Yayusa. That's the
Whichever.
other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So much stuff's going on.
Programming note. This is Ask an Engineer every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Show and tell. We just did it. 7:30 p.m. We have some things going on. If you checked out in the shopping cart before 11 a.m. and you're in Manhattan and the zip code is supported for same-day delivery, you can get same-day delivery. If not, $200 or more, continental U.S. UPS ground. That's trackable, reliable UPS ground. But you're like, what about DHL? We have DHL Canada. We also have DHL going to Germany, France, the UK, and more. We're adding more.
More soon.
We're adding more. And then next up, we have some pins we're giving away. The pins are part of the free deals that
if you get like $99 or more, I think.
That's right. Now, if you have an account, you get a different pin each time. If you just check out as a guest, you get a random one. All that and more is listed
Ruby,
on...
Gus, and Billy.
Yeah, and it's listed on adafruit.com/free. Okay, show and tell. People around the world showing and sharing their projects. I think the show and tell, I said it on the show and tell, but it is the most fun we have every single week. It's about 30 minutes, and you can see people sharing their important stuff, and this week we had some really fun projects.
Indeed, we had many visitors, some news, some repeats. We had some Adafruit folks. JP showed off next week's project. He's going to be on a trip, but while he's gone, we will release next week's project, which is a Metro Mini clock with a wooden mount. It's just a lovely little clock based on Metro Mini. He made a clock, and he shows how to use a gel to change the color of your 7-segment display. Very cute. And uses a real-time clock, so it keeps time very nicely. Noah and Pedro showed off this week's 3D printing project. It's a fingerboard that fits a feather. I don't know. It's kind of a cool, interesting thing.
Well,
So
yeah.
I like skateboarding, and
So here's...
I like feathers.
This is the latest issue of Thrasher came in. No digital edition for Thrasher.
Yeah.
And my subscription didn't catch up with me, but it finally did. What's neat is a long time ago in the skateboarding world, these little fingerboards came in and we're like, oh, who's going to do that? And then just like the fidget spinners.
Yeah.
So what's neat is kids can make their own little skateboards, put the feather on it, and carry it around with them and do little tricks and stuff like that. So this is just the start. We have a lot of things like that. Because fidget spinners are fun. A lot of people can make them, and a lot of people are buying them. This is something that, like little skateboards and stuff like that. And if you think about people who make stuff, it is a little bit like skateboarding. They do tricks, and it's not competitive, although there is competitive skateboarding, but it's more like, hey, here's a cool trick, and they show each other how to do the tricks. And there's a little bit of spirit of rebellion. You know, I got chased away from parking lots and swimming pools.
Yeah,
and,
no, it's fun.
And home.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
Skateboards.
Anyways, yeah. Okay. So we got that going on.
We'll
play the video soon.
Scott set up a Discord server, so for people who want to chit-chat about Adafruit stuff, there's webhooks so you can see what's going on GitHub and on the blog and if we're streaming. So check out the Discord server. You will, if you sign up, you'll get bumped into the welcome chat, and then you will check out our code of conduct, which we sort of require you to look at because we require code of conduct. Yeah,
what's neat about that is there's a lot of mailing lists and chat rooms and communities online, and they don't have that. So you have a lot of young people or people who, I remember when you first joined, I think it was like AVR Freaks, and people were really mean to anyone new.
Oh, they were so mean.
They were so mean, and they were just like, this Arduino thing's stupid, and they didn't like you, and it wasn't welcoming, and they're like, oh, how come it's just like the same people talking over and over? So when you have a code of conduct, at least people know, here's what's expected. So we have a very welcoming community. People like show their projects. Sometimes things blow up, their mistakes or whatever, and a lot of people, they just want to learn. They want to go to a safe place. So Scott has the Discord thing running up, but I like that. At least glance at the code of conduct.
Yeah, look at that. So thank you, Scott, for setting that up.
We put it on our GitHub, and like you see this at conferences and stuff. Like things are getting better.
I think it's for live chat, especially because live chat can get very heated, and people can show up and you know, whatever. Okay, Jeff and Hazel. So that's the Adafruit folks. Jeff and Hazel came by with a cat detection box. There's a Raspberry Pi and a PIR sensor.
There's a person detection box.
Sorry,
for a prank.
it's a person detector that plays cat meows.
Yeah.
So it's very funny because when you walk by the box, it'll meow like there's a cat or kitten inside.
Meow.
And it uses a Raspberry Pi, a Pi Zero, and a PIR sensor, and it plays like an MP3 when somebody walks by. So it's a good sneaky thing, a prank.
Yeah.
For Hazel's parent office mates, I guess. They will be pranked. Scott is going to go to Burning Man. He has a NeoPixel bike, and now he has a big eyeball light. It's like a big lamp for his bicycle that has an eyeball like animation and NeoPixels. So he's going to try to wrap that up for Burning Man, coming up in about 60 days. Mark has a clubbing light outfit that he made for Burning Man also. So maybe he's going to hang out with with Scott. That'll be cool. He's using the ESP8266 with DMA on the I2S pins, which you can do. You end up using the same as the UART pins, I think, but it's kind of neat because you can basically drive huge number of pixels in the background. John K. built a speaking tape measure as a weekend project using an EMIC board, an Arduino, and like a PIR, sonar sensor. And he's like, I've been doing this since Fortran 1977. So like I wasn't even born then.
And he said he wanted to do it, and he said hello world because he said he did that when he was working on Fortran stuff.
Yeah, and he's like, it used to take a long time for him to submit programs and get them run. Now you can like write the longest program you want and have it running within 20 seconds. It's amazing.
I really like this project. And then he also showed this thing that sends an interface over, and then you can.
Yeah, the assembly stuff, which has like it dynamically creates interfaces.
I want to play around with that. But that was really neat, and the tapeless measure is talking the whole time. I thought it'd be fun to bring somewhere that's really crowded, so you can kind of say,
back off.
No, well, just like 8 inches away, please. You know,
go away.
No Space Invaders.
No Space Invaders.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Stuart, his son was going to show off this voting station that they worked on for school, but the pool was open and it's really hot out, so they went to the pool, which is like, honestly,
sometimes water is more interesting than show and tell. Yeah, I really like this project for a few reasons. One, they made a voting machine on should we get a street light in our community. The idea that young people can build and understand what a voting machine is and a voting system is probably how voting will work well.
It's something we've got here.
It's in the news a lot, voting, and you hear all these things like, is a vote really counted, or was there something that happened? But imagine everyone who's like 10 or 11, and 8 years from now, they're voting, and when someone says, well, who knows what the results are, whatever, they'll say, well, where's the source code? How can I inspect it? How can I see it? So it's one of the things like voting machines. I think that would be an interesting open source project where companies would just compete on who can build them, but we will all agree that you can inspect them. And that might be a way to do nationwide voting in some way, because right now it's beneficial for it to be distributed and weird, and every county has a different thing.
Yeah.
But eventually, it seems like electronic systems is the way to go. So that's a really neat project, because I think any young person who builds a voting system is going to care more about the voting systems later. That's a cool project.
That's a cool project.
Stuart's always coming in with cool ones.
Yeah, there is kind of cool projects. All right, and going to the poll. All right, so that's what we had on Show and Tell.
Okay, all participants on the Show and Tell get an As Seen on the Show and Tell sticker. Email support@adafruit.com and we will send you one. Okay, we have some other stuff going on. Part of our Adafruit Live series, we have a special Show and Tell coming up soon.
This is adorable.
Yeah, so we have a special Show and Tell coming up soon with Judith. She's an engineer from TE. This is part of my mini race car project pack that we're doing with TE and DigiKey. So don't forget, Wednesday, July 12th, 7 p.m., special edition of the Show and Tell. TE's resident engineer with Andretti Technologies, Judith Hensel, will be here, and you can show off your car projects if you've built them. Either way, we'll have Judith here and more. Next up, when we were running around, we visited Boston, where you're from, and we visited MIT. That's where you went to school. And we kind of broke into MIT, but not really. They just let us in.
We used knobs.
And then we saw the machine shop, and there was these...
This is a new machine shop at the Media Lab.
Yeah, and I took this photo of you there, and there was these really nice students, and we said, we're not crazy, really, but would you be interested in talking about your projects or whatever? And then they came out to Adafruit, and there was two projects. One, this is the rock print, and we showed some of the videos not too long ago, and then this one is the dome, and this is like a 30-second sped up of a sped up, but we're going to do a little... We recorded this, and then we're going to play it on the show. And we interview Levy and Sarah. They're from the Mediated Matter at the Media Lab, and they talk about robots for architecture. And this is kind of neat because you roll out this robot, and then it prints out a building for you.
Yeah. Using expanding foam.
Yeah. You can imagine this on other planets and more, but this goes on, I think, a pretty standard piece of machinery, and it just has like the giant foam thing. And then the foam in between, there's foam, and then you could put building materials in between and all that?
Yeah, it's like so you can put in concrete, and then you can have insulation and concrete. So you have structural and insulation. So
it's about 15 minutes, but this is part of our interview series. And take it away. Here you go. We'll take it away past you.
Vivi and Sarah.
Yeah. Bye.
Hey everybody, it's me, Lady Ada, and we're here at the Adafruit factory. We've got an extra special video for you today. We found some special guests that were visiting Adafruit, and we sneakily convinced them to do a little presentation and talk about their work, because their work is really cool. But who are these people? I would also like to know, who are you?
So I'm Vivi.
And I'm Sarah.
And I guess, so we're from the Media Lab at MIT. We're specifically in the Mediated Matter group, where we sort of focus on the intersection between biology and architecture and fabrication technologies, all sort of under the scope of design.
Okay.
And
it's called Mediated Matter.
Mediated Matter.
That's kind of cool.
So we're very interested in sort of real world things. We want to sort of bring digital technologies and material science and biology all into different ways of sort of interacting those together into hopefully more architectural and design projects, if that makes sense.
Demonstrating new robotic tools that build things on the architectural scale. So a lot of what we build is over 3 meters.
Okay, so it's like there's the bits to atoms and bits to atoms. That's very small, and you're like very big.
We're very big.
So mediated big matter.
We also do some very small things, there's some synthetic biology, but we're big.
You have to just sometimes do small, sometimes do big. But you personally, and sorry, what are your names again? Vivi
and Sarah.
Vivi and Sarah. So you're into big mediated matter, and it's like, would you call it like smart materials or smart architecture? Is that kind of what you're doing?
I'm not sure exactly how you want to classify smart. I
Well,
guess.
it's like, sometimes you see like videos online of like, we made a gigantic 3D printer that 3D prints a building. Like, is that the kind of stuff?
That's exactly pretty
That's
much
exactly the kind of stuff. And you guys also do electronics too, or is it mostly mechanical engineering?
I guess so. I do a lot of electronics currently. So we're building, like one of our current projects is building a robot from scratch, essentially. And then one of the other projects has been more sort of the mechanical assembly, that kind of a thing. And then some other aspects have also been like into materials and.
So like, how do you build a robot that can interact with other robots and people to build things with new materials on a big scale?
Okay. And is this stuff that you think like 20, 30 years from now is going to be like on Mars and it's going to be like making like Mars habitats and stuff? I mean, it's kind of
Hopefully.
sounds like it'd be cool. I mean, like robots that
Yeah.
make,
Well,
like,
especially your project has been.
Yeah,
like
so we've
send
been
this to the moon
proposing-
and it'll just like build the habitat for you? Like,
Yeah,
okay,
send it
neat.
to Mars, send it to like Antarctica.
Okay.
If you want to set up anything in
Under
like
the ocean?
Under the ocean.
Okay.
All these are very, very interesting to us, basically.
That's
Extreme
neat.
environments that normally you couldn't get to with, you don't really want people sitting there doing construction in high temperatures or low temperatures.
Super low temperatures or low pressures or high pressure.
High pressure, all of it.
And so why are you personally interested? Like why, you're in this group. Why is this your group? What's your personal take?
So for me personally, I'm more fascinated by all of the different like technologies and processes that sort of come together to make these sort of like extreme projects happen, I guess. You kind of need an expertise in all these different fields. And to me that interaction is just very, very interesting.
Okay.
I think the architectural scale just makes it like you are forced to work at kind of next level in
Yeah.
some sense.
What about you, Sarah? What do you get out of this?
I love that we're a very hands-on group. Like we build a lot of these future technologies that we're thinking about how they'll implement the world. We're actually doing it, and we're taking these like off-the-shelf tools that you just buy from the grocery store, or I guess not the grocery store, but online, to build things that you could just only dream of before, like something totally new.
Okay. And so what's an example project that you've worked on recently?
I'm going to talk about this
Okay.
project with the robot arm
Ooh.
that makes a big column out of rocks and string.
So what's a project that you're working on, Vivi?
Okay, so one of the projects that I've been working on has been sort of this large-scale 3D printing of houses, essentially.
Okay.
Except for us specifically, like there's a bunch of different groups now, like interested in sort of large-scale 3D printing. What we're interested in is this idea of mobile fabrication. So if you wanted to go out to the middle of nowhere with nobody else there to help you, what kind of form factor does your system have to be in order to build a house in the middle of nowhere with
Okay.
no human help?
That sounds cool.
So we've basically taken over this, we repurposed a cherry picker, I guess, one of these sort of large-scale construction vehicles, and retrofitted it with our own sensors and even put on a little KUKA arm because they're not typically built for sort of precision tasks, just so we could get this.
And so the cherry picker is a big thing, and then you have the KUKA arm on it to do like the little things.
The little things,
Okay.
which is funny because KUKAs are usually still quite large.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you're into big.
Yes, we're
Okay.
into quite big.
And you have a video about this project?
Yes. Do
Okay.
we have a video about this project?
Let's check out this video.
Yeah, so I guess in this video you can see this is our cherry picker retrofitted with the KUKA arm on the end of it.
And this is really big. It actually looked quite small, but this is
So
This is
the
huge.
dome that we're printing right now is roughly 50 feet in diameter and 12 feet, it'll become 12 feet high, I guess. And it's currently printed out of a two-part polyurethane spray foam. It's the same kind of foam that you use in insulation for houses. So the idea is that you can print this sort of foam factor, you can backfill it now with real concrete, and then you can just keep at least the inner layer of insulation there.
Oh shit. Ooh, foam.
And the nice thing about the foam is that we can print very, very rapidly. So this whole print was about 13 and a half hours in terms of print time, not including, debugging and stuff.
And this is just to get the structure going, and then is it double layered? It looks like it's
So it's a two-layer
Two-layer?
dome, and it'll actually decrease in width as it gets higher and higher and higher, because I guess the PhD student and some other students in our group have done the math on trying to figure out what the optimal shape of this dome should be for structural stability.
Okay.
So you can actually stand on the foam itself if you wanted to.
Oh, neat. Okay, so then eventually it would close up, and then would it spray concrete, or how would the concrete get on it?
So the current idea is, at least for this prototype anyway, we would have probably just filled it ourselves with concrete. But there are a lot of groups now that are building these sort of concrete dumping robots. So it should be very easy to sort of add on that part to it and just dump concrete into that structure.
Okay.
Sort of after you've printed the foam layer.
This is so cool. All right, I can totally see this being in like a movie and then in real life where it's like, we're going to terraform a planet, and then like, you drop these first, they make it all, and then, before the aliens attack, the humans get there. I don't know.
Yeah, and so we're also interested in sort of how you might utilize the materials on site. So if you go to Mars, you can't, and you don't want to bring all the foam with you, or concrete and all these other things. It'd be great to sort of know, this is the kind of soil that we have. This is maybe some other interchangeable tools that we'll need, and just use the dirt and stuff that's on Mars.
Okay, that's cool. All right, and then Sarah, what are you interested in? What is your personal take on mediated matter?
Mediated matter. I mean, I'm really interested in building things and tools and sort of enabling people to sort of have their own freedom to build what they envision. So one of the last projects I worked on was this jammed column. We called it Rock Print, and we displayed it at the Chicago Architectural Biennial with a team from Grimazio Fuller Research. So this column you see is like entirely made out of rocks and string. It's 20 kilometers of string, and it's no adhesive, just held together by the tension in the string. It's called jamming. This is when, like, have you poured coffee beans like into your coffee maker and they get stuck?
Yeah.
They get jammed.
Oh, is it and where the twine fills in the cracks?
Yeah. So basically the twine makes like little holes that the rocks can't fall through.
Okay.
And so the rocks will pinch the string to hold it in place.
So it's like a mortar that's reusable.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's completely reusable.
Okay, and then is this a real thing? Was that that's a real thing? That was real.
That was real.
That was real.
That was the finished installation we built.
That's so cool.
So that's one of our teammates, Andreas, standing next to the thing after we built it. So we had a robot and some wood, and we shipped it on site. And this is all the materials. We had these bags of giant rocks called mesopore, and we pulled out the robot and we set up this big robot arm that could lay out the string in a circular pattern. We had a grasshopper method of like communicating with the robot. Grasshopper is like a process that takes, how would you explain this? It takes like architecture, it takes a CAD design and like breaks it down into Python.
It's like a slicer.
Exactly.
But it's a Python slicer.
Exactly.
That's why it's called the grasshopper, because it's very small. Okay. So you send the commands, and then you can see the loops.
Yeah, so it tells the robot arm to go in this pattern, and it's just laying down the string in these little circles, and then we'd put another layer of rocks on top that would like pinch the string, and we built up this whole column in a mold.
So there's the base of rocks, and then do you excavate the rocks that are loose?
Exactly, yeah. So we built it all up in this mold with like the little layers and the string slices, and then we took off the mold layers, and it was just like a square column. And we sort of massaged it, and the like loose rocks fell away.
You know what this reminds me of is there's two different, there's like 5 different types of 3D printing, but there's like the extrusion model, which is kind of what you're doing. You go in a circle and you spray it, and you have more of like, was it Z machine? What's the name of that? There's the kind where you have talcum powder.
Yeah.
And then you spray a binder, like a glue, and it solidifies it, and then you lift it out.
SLA or?
It's SLA, but it's not laser sintering. It's like I don't know that much about 3D printing, but you know what I mean. There's a binder, and then you like lift it out, and then you like shake it, and all the material comes out. But except it's dust, and you're using rocks. And your binder
we also have a lot of dust.
Yes. Well, where you've got rocks, you've got dust. And so I'm actually surprised. I mean, like, are you a mechanical engineer?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't completely get how I kind of get how the string would keep it in place, but it's pretty amazing. Is this
it's totally amazing. Like, even after we worked on this for months, it was like, just looking at this column, we're like, it's amazing it holds together.
How did you know the pattern for the twine? Like, is it modeled?
We did it's modeled. We did a bunch of different tests to see like what's the strongest method. We actually built one of these structures beforehand and took a forklift and pulled out one of the legs, and it sort of self-corrects like the leg is missing and all that rock that where the string was falls away, but then it supports itself on the other 3 legs. Just because
cool.
we had so much extra string, so many circles.
So I see why you guys work together, because you're also like, you'd bring the string maybe, but you would use whatever rocks were available in the environment that you're in.
And this string was actually recycled plastic. So
yeah, that's cool that it holds it together. You wouldn't think it would, but it's just enough.
You can see it on the outside of the structure.
And so it's outside and inside.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's winding through the whole thing, but it's one big piece.
Yeah, so then at the end we just pulled the string, we had a hook in the ceiling and we unreeled it and the structure just flew apart.
Okay.
Which was
that
awesome.
Sounds so satisfying. Okay, cool. All right, so you guys are into materials, matter. Where can people find out more about these projects or about what you do or Mediated Matter? What's the action?
So we do have a group website.
Okay.
I think it's mediated.mit.edu, I hope. Otherwise, just Google Mediated Matter.
Mediated Matter.
And we're probably the first hit.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to see all of our projects and what we're working on.
All right, and then of course, if people are really interested in this, they can apply to work in your group.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Every semester there's a call for students, apply to the Media Lab, and you can do really cool things like this. I bet, is it pulling the string like the best thing you've ever done in your entire life?
It was pretty great.
That's pretty great. All right, well, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
You got a cool tour. We got to do a tour of your stuff. See more. Send us updates. We'd love to post them up.
Sure.
And then, of course, when you're doing events, let us know. We'll post it up, and people can go and see these cool sculptures that you're making if they're at a place.
Yeah,
okay.
they usually are.
All right, thanks everybody for watching.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
And we're back. That was pretty cool.
Cool stuff. No, that was really interesting to hear from.
The rock thing is cool. It's a mind bender because you can put string in, and now this rock.
The rock thing's a little weird.
It's super futuristic.
But if
it's
you
cool.
think about it, rocks are just very dense, and so once they pinch on the string, it'll keep all the other rocks in place.
Okay, so we had some more live videos. Desk Lady Ada will return. We were doing a lot of other broadcasting. You interviewed Nell, and Nell was one of the women in the female lead, which you were in. And this is a book, and it celebrates all these interesting women. And you talked to Nell about how she did Bring Your Daughter to Work Day.
Yep.
Pre-internet.
We talked about some people she's met.
Yeah. And so that was a really neat interview. Good. You're like what's the interviewer that's like a Charlie Rose or something of electronics, Barbara Walters or something?
Oprah.
Every time you interview me, I break down crying.
Okay.
So anyways, you can check that out. It's on our YouTube channel and more. And then Tony D. Tony is spinning some fidgets. This is the fidget spinner tachometer with
in CircuitPython.
CircuitPython, and I think with MakeCode or
CircuitPython and Arduino.
Or
in this
Arduino.
case, it's in it looks like it's in CircuitPython.
Yeah,
and he's trying out some different editors as well.
Yeah, this is cool. So check that out. That's Desk of Tony D, and that's also on our YouTube channel. But wait, there's more. Y'all may notice that we've been doing a lot of CircuitPython, and we're getting closer and closer and closer to what I think is like a very solid, stable release. We have some more features. You have some new boards. We'll talk about that soon. And the other cool thing is Make Code. So Make Code is yet another way to use Circuit Playground Express, for example.
And hopefully soon other M0 boards as well.
Yeah, and what's neat about that is you just go to makecode.adafruit.com, plug in the board, and you're dragging and dropping code instantly. Pop over, use JavaScript if you want.
Yeah,
it's super cool.
I like it because, you know, it's funny. It's like we have people who we know who are like, oh, I've always wanted to learn how to code, and so we give them a Circuit Playground Express, and we say, okay, check out Make Code and follow some of these projects. And they're like, well, that was too easy.
Yeah,
this is like awesome.
That was so easy. I want to do even more, which is the opposite of electronics. Normally, you normally hear that was too hard. I never want to do that again.
I spent 20 minutes trying to figure out how to download a driver. Like today, I spent like 20 minutes just like messing with Python, pip, easy install versions, unlinking with Brew. Like, it's really challenging to do desktop programming.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So we got an award already.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. So thank you, Microsoft, for awarding us the Microsoft Make Code Circuit Playground Express 2017
award.
Yeah.
We're the only winner so far of this award.
If you enter a contest where you're the only candidate, you can win. So they sent this. Thank you so much, Microsoft. They've been a really good partner with this. And I'll say this, Microsoft is really figuring out the education space. Google is doing their Docs thing. Apple has like iPads and stuff like that. The neat thing is Microsoft has a really neat coding platform. And you can use Microbit, you can use Sparkfun Board, you can use Circuit Playground Express. But this is our little trophy. Thank you.
This is sweet.
Yeah.
And, you can use it.
But you know who the real winners are?
The community. The
community. And this is neat. So a lot of kids have been getting their...
Yes. Well, at ISTE,
yeah.
At the International Science Teachers Expo. I don't know the exact...
The International Conference for Teachers Are Going to Teach Stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's what it stands for.
Yes. So Microsoft had a booth there, and they gave away, I think, like 400 Circuit Playground Expresses. Yeah. And so a lot of teachers went home and are starting to play with Circuit Playground Express, and we're making thousands.
And what's neat is we look for Pound Circuit Playground and some of the tags on Twitter, and the kids, you could just tell that like it's working out. It's like, okay, I got one, and I got it working.
I like this because it's like an American flag.
And then
super cool.
It's like, look at this. Everyone does this now because it's the Lady Ada I thing. And then what I like is there's just like really young kids, and you can immediately tell that they get it and they're making something, and then they show it off. So that's really neat.
Yeah.
Okay. More videos. Jump Park
it.
Workshop. Here is his
mini
Metro clock. Mini Metro clock. Take it away, JP. Okay, there's more.
It's time.
Packet mailbags here. Okay, so this week we have a letter. We get letters. Okay, this one's from Frank. I'm just going to read part of it. Hey, just wanted to write and say thanks for your business. I never worked with electronics before. I work in IT and love programming. Discovered your site, LED shoes. Anyways, Frank goes on to say, I never knew programming would allow me one day to build things in real life. It's like you opened my mind to the physical realm.
Wow.
I can let my creativity run wild, and I know I can always count on your great support. Big love from Canada. We were like Canada right now.
Yay, Canada.
Okay, next up, we have a phone that we turn on occasionally, but when it's off, it goes to voicemail. Here's a voicemail.
Thanks for doing such a great show, guys. We're really loving it.
Also, thank you for the extra stickers. I think I'm gonna paint my whole room with them. If I get any more. I love Adafruit.
Keep up the great work.
Super cute. And if you want to call our phone and leave a message, you can. It's OnBitStab. That's the phone number.
Call this number. Leave us a message.
Yeah, we'll open up the phone
If it's a nice
later.
message, we might play it.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
if it's a funny message.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nice and funny.
If you can sing, that'd be nice. We like singing.
La 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 la.
Yeah. Just make sure you have the right rebroadcast the song. Okay. Next up, time travel. Back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers. This was American birthday.
Happy birthday, USA.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, USA.
In the news, I hear about USA manufacturing's coming back, and I'm like, when did it go? Because I go there every day. So we have a few things from holiday. First up, I tweeted this. This was this one back when I was in Make. This is one of my favorite Make covers. This was volume 18, which is like
Wow.
like 4 years in. So that was like almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Remake America. This uses Peggy. American flag. That's cool.
I like it. That's cool.
Yeah. And then on our blog, we have a series of posts. These are really neat. America's Greatest Inventions, 4th of July, American Inventions. We got the transistor. We got the personal computer. We got another personal computer.
Personal computer's pretty cool.
Yeah. We got the mobile phone.
Mobile phone.
Yeah. We got space shuttle.
Space.
We got the internet.
Nice work there.
Good job, us. We got the image sensor. We got an artificial heart. We landed this thing on Mars, Curiosity. Not bad.
Pretty good.
Not bad, not
Pretty
bad,
good,
not
pretty
bad,
good.
not bad.
Go, go, yeah,
And then
yeah.
we have Time Travel Special July 4th edition. 1776, Declaration of Independence.
Nice work.
Woo! Okay, got that going
Founding
on.
fathers.
That's right. All right, West Point, we spoke there a couple times. 1802, that's when it was founded.
They opened.
1803, Louisiana Purchase.
Great
Yeah,
purchase.
good
Good
deal.
deal.
Yeah, 1817,
Erie Canal
Erie Canal. 1826, Thomas Jefferson.
was born or what?
Slavery is abolished in New York State, 1827.
Okay.
And we got
Some
some
songs.
songs. Yeah, these go by fast.
Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass.
America goes by fast unless you watch it.
Yeah.
We got the Civil War. So these are all just things that have happened. We got
There's a lot of
Tuskegee Institute. We know some folks in there. And then France gave us a statue. So
Nice.
parked
Happy
outside.
birthday. Yeah,
over there.
thanks. It's out there.
Woodrow Wilson, Civil War veterans, great reunion there, I think it says. Freedom of Information Act, NAFTA's Pathfinder. This goes on. So this is one of my favorite blog posts. And then 2004, they put down the foundation stone for the Freedom Tower.
Oh, yeah.
Which we recently.
went to.
Yeah.
We went to.
So massive blog post and more. Check it out.
Okay.
Yay America.
yours.
Speaking of Yay
Yeah,
America.
yay.
Speaking of Yay America,
Yay.
Lady Ada.
Yay.
That's our code.
Yay!
Yay America. Okay. Open source hardware. We do open source hardware. We also have some learn guides.
We had some guides.
We have some guides. What guides were around
Can
this
you
week?
make that big so I can read
Yep,
it?
yep.
Thank you. Okay, so we had the 3D printed finger feather board we're going to show. 3D printed feather fingerboard,
Yeah, we're gonna show that.
which we're going to show shortly. That's another page of 3D printed projects. Fun. I mean, it's not like super electronics-y, but you can attach electronics to it. We've got a little guide from Dean, who is here in the embedded group with me. He's hanging out. We're doing electronics. And we've actually had to program some SPI flash chips, and he didn't want to use an Arduino. He wanted to use a desktop, so he basically just did a little guide about how to use an FT232H to program SPI flash. Very handy, and includes the C code. It's adapted from an FPGA project, but it works quite well, and it allows you to basically flash SPI chips from the desktop, which is a common thing people have to do if they're doing FPGA work or hacking a router or something. We have Denowall's Humble Velocipede, Dano is here in Fab. He's the one who actually does these really cool time lapses, and he's going to be doing a little kit with this, and so that'll be fun. And then of course last week's NeoPixie dust bag with Circuit Playground Express. It's a solder-free project.
Yeah.
To make a capacitive touch Circuit Playground Express powered Pixie dust bag, and we had last week's thermal camera sensor.
Yeah. So since we're still in time travel open sourcey land, I thought I would continue the trend. I did the legal issue of 2600. This is a cover I drew it. I did some stuff. It's there's some inside jokes and all that with it. Made sense. But this is when I was doing stuff with 2600. I'm Phil at 2600.com. Some folks know me from Freedom Downtime and maybe helping hackers get their rights and stuff like that. But wait.
There's more.
There's more. This is the current volume of 2600. And Lady Ada, you and I have an article in it.
We do.
We do. I didn't know what the cover is going to be. It's blurred out, so it's okay. But I think this guy is giving the finger to the FCC or something.
It's a little unclear.
And then he's winning. Yeah, there's always
He's got like a resistor shirt.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's an article inside of it, page 52, called "Citizen Engineer." And
By us.
By us, and it's called "Patently Hacking." And the whole article, and we're going to have a follow-up, is there was a patent for the MP3. When you bought a chip, you wanted to play MP3s, you had to pay a license. The patent's over. By all measures of over, it's pretty much over, including the site called MP3 Licensing, which was a screenshot. It was a graphic of the licensing. Now it goes like Fraunhofer, and they're like, thanks for paying all the money all that time. So we had this idea, what do we do now? Like, I guess we can just make our own MP3 decoder on a chip, and we don't have to pay that fee.
Yeah.
So we talk about that, and we also talk about some of the things that are helpful for makers and hackers about jurisdictions for patent lawsuits and reselling of things that have a patent. So we talk about that, but then we have a project. So we're going to work on that soon because we want to get MP3 playback on things like Circuit Playground Express.
Which I couldn't do until the patent was released because I didn't want to have to pay a licensing fee. Like, no way. Also, I like to do stuff that where the software is patent free.
Yeah.
So now we actually have a shot of doing that with some new chips that are coming out that can decode MP3 in software.
Yeah.
So
it's on Google Play right now, which does magazines, which is that's the first time I bought one on Google Play. We went to Barnes & Noble. And one of the things I like about 2600 is all these little payphones, like we have a payphone here.
So why we have a payphone.
So for those of you who are wondering, you're like, Citizen Engineer, that sounds familiar. Or maybe it doesn't. We're rebooting our Citizen Engineer series. That's what started a lot of this. Citizen Engineer was a video show that you and I did, and we did a comic book. And because it took a while to do Citizen Engineer, we said, let's do Ask an Engineer, essentially.
We spent like 2 months doing this one video and comic book.
Yeah.
And it was like full time.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we can't do that again.
And and we did this video series. It was kind of neat. And you hacked a payphone, and then we redboxed it, and then we also did a SIM card reader, and we had a kit and everything. So that's our comic book. It's going to be, the reboot's a little different. I think I can get the same director. Some of the previous actors. We're in negotiation right now. But if you go on our Vimeo page, you can see Citizen Engineer. Oh, how young and naive we were. But this is the first volume, so we'll have this series, and it'll be citizenry and engineering. And we have a couple ideas just to show you kind of what we're thinking is, you and I will hit a topic of discussion. I'll probably hit the citizen part. You'll probably hit the engineering part, although it'd be funny to switch once in a while. And the idea would be, we take on a neat topic. When we're doing our discussion, it's in black and white. I think I'm going to do the spot color thing where your hair is always pink. And then we go out into the world, do interviews or talk to people or whatever. And at the end, we kind of wrap it up. So,
cool.
Yeah, so that's coming soon. Look for that. And next year, we hope to be able to show some of these, but we'll show them as we do them. This was announced, Circle of Hope, July 20th, 22nd, 2018, Hotel Penn. Hope Conference is back.
So next year, this is always the last hope.
It's always the last hope.
It's always the last hope.
Yeah, so we got that going on.
We're the last hope for 20 freaking years.
Yeah. So, anyways, I should tell everybody, we don't have new products this week, so that's why I have a bunch of videos.
Yeah, sorry,
Don't worry about it.
On vacation. Don't worry, we're going to get back into so many. We have a lot of, it's not out yet, so we'll show.
Yeah, we have a lot of videos and stuff. Okay, I'm doing a weekly thing only. Working on my free Arduino series. This week, I'm just clicking these off. The Star Auto, the Arduino Star Auto, which is an open source electronics product. It was announced in May of 2016. there was a few that shipped out because there was physical ones, and then at Maker Faire, arduino.org sold them.
Yeah.
Now, the issue is they were sold and advertised as open source.
Yes.
And open source usually means there's some file you can download, like CAD files, right? There's some code that has an open source license, and there is some ownership that says, here's who owns it, and here's how you can use it. That's like the bare minimum of what open source is. However, since the new Arduino, this new arduino.org entity, this thing, the files aren't around, there's no license, and the PDF...
I installed OrCAD.
We installed OrCAD.
To actually look at these files.
No, the Star Auto doesn't even have the files up yet.
Oh, wait, that's right.
That's the
previous one.
Oh, yeah, that's what I did. That's what I talked about last week. So there's a trend that a lot of the stuff that arduino.org is doing, which is, there is just one Arduino. So I was like, oh, email.cc. No. Massimo, the former head of Arduino CC, on Evil Mad Scientists, said, Arduino's open source. I'm going to contact my colleagues at arduino.org. I think it's been a couple weeks. And the files for these open source products, where people buy them, they say, I'm giving you money for this open source thing. It says open source. There's a shirt that says open source. Everything says open source. Everything says open source. But we can't get a comment from arduino.org. No problem. And that's fine. And so we're just putting, here's the ones that are not open source.
And we'll check back with them.
And we don't even care. Just say if it's open source or not, because we have like AT Makers.
Some are.
Well, we have like folks from AT Makers that show these projects. And the reason they can help Ella in a wheelchair is because we're able to share code, designs, and build on top of things. And the Arduino ecosystem doesn't really work if the files aren't around. And that's one of the things. Like, it doesn't matter to us, but it does matter to the larger community. 2 people might not make a difference, but all of us are kind of curious what's going on. So we emailed arduino.org, they didn't get back to us. A couple other people emailed, didn't get back to us. Now there's articles and more, so whatever. If it's not, just say it. But if it is, put the files up. It's been like, this one's been a while.
A year.
Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm working on.
We'll follow up.
Yeah, I follow up.
We follow up.
I follow up. Don't forget the DigiKey, buy one, give one. Speaking of open source hardware, you get a Circuit Playground, but if you order from DigiKey, they give one to Girls with Code.
Which is super sweet.
Yeah. Okay, factory footage. It's where we make open source hardware. Okay, and we have more things from the factory that the team puts together. So this is the 3D print of one of the unicorn horns, which is really neat with the NeoPixels. Yeah, this is super cool.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, and then there's more. I like this. You put the water in, it's like, wee!
This is fun, because you only do it once.
Yeah.
The first time you get a sponge.
Yeah.
It's like shrinky dink, but soldering.
And then we have this beautiful photo of the reels that we have. And then, of course, 4th of July sunset. I wonder if they caught any fireworks. Oh, maybe. Oh yeah, look at that!
Yay!
Yay! That was right outside Adafruit window.
That's cool.
Neat. Okay. Nimbus, the friendly cloud entity. This is Adafruit IO. This is our Internet of Things service for makers. Dials and knobs, all things that you can do.
Free.
Okay,
You can use it.
we have an IoT update. So the update is there's changes to throttling, and this is kind of important for folks. They changed the way that they did the throttling. It's fixed window, and they just made it so that you should delay attempts that are reconnection attempts more than 10 seconds because they want to make sure that it's just not hogging up all the.
Yeah, basically,
bandwidth.
it's to what always happens with all these services is like 99% of clients are fine, but then there's that one client that it sends data way too fast, like it's not set up correctly, and it can actually like really slow down the system. Also, if you try authenticating forever, like way too fast, it can really like hang up the service for a lot of other people. Like we do have multiple hosts, but we want to just sort of have the throttling be a little bit nicer, but also make it fair to everybody because we provide a free service. We want to make sure that everyone has a chance.
There'll always be a free tier, but we're working on a pay version for people who want to do more. So we're just taking our time because we want to build something that doesn't get taken away, like our wonderful journey, and have to sunset something. We want to make sure that Adafruit IO is something you can rely on forever. If you buy Adafruit hardware, it works with Adafruit IO. So big ups to Justin, Tyler, Adam, everyone who's working on Adafruit IO.
Yeah.
So thank you. Next up, 3D printing time. Pager printing up Storm. Beep, 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 beep. Okay.
Skating away.
Yeah, so this week, this is that feather skateboard thing. Skate or die. Okay, and then next up, don't forget Thursday, 3D Thursday is Wednesday.
Yes.
And they have layer by layer and a bunch more. You told me these are the Secret Owl Society?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have,
Don't really know what that was all about, but cool.
Well, I found a mask here, so I wore it.
Okay.
That's all it was. The other 3D printing project that we have is really posted up this on the blog. So, do you know what today is? It's July 5th.
Yes.
Okay, there's an anniversary, believe it or not, and it's very timely. So, I think it was like 1940. It's on the blog, but this is the anniversary of the bikini.
Oh, the Bikini Atoll tests?
Yeah, and what happened was bikinis and nuclear testing nuclear just became synonymous with one another.
Great.
And Naomi, our friend, did a project where she 3D printed the top of a bikini, and this uses the flexible material.
That's cool, like full 3D printing.
Yeah, so it's super cool. Check out this project. She does the neatest projects, and then she wears them. So check that out.
I think she like modeled herself.
Yeah, she's like, here you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, and you can see all the different pieces. And then she went out and she took photos.
I guess there's some bars you can dress like that. That's cool.
It's fine.
I guess it's hot out.
So I read her tweets and everything. No one cares and no one notices.
Yeah.
That's super cool. It's just like, it's like, oh, where'd you get that 3D printing material?
Cyber future.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have a sped up.
Okay.
This is the Gothic Lantern. Okay, Microbit Mondays. Every Monday we have posts about microbits. I asked you about this because I want to make sure that I knew what it was, but it's basically like a little breakout.
Yeah, somebody made a little PCB with breakouts so you could connect like NeoPixels and servos, and it's just like a little. Like what I like about it is it screws on.
Yeah, and it mounts up, and then you can control like NeoPixels or servos.
Yeah, there has little plugs on the side. It looks like, but then you can also like clip onto the bottom. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Technique.
Super cool.
Similar servo.
And for the folks who don't know a lot about NeoPixels or servos, why does it do the same thing? Why can you control a servo and or a NeoPixel?
There's multiple pins, and the chip that's used, it can, it has breakouts for like analog pins and digital pins and stuff. So there's 3 different plugs. Mm-hmm. And I guess there's, I don't know, Swedish.
So we're starting to see microbit accessories. Cool. We're doing some too.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is programmed in MakeCode or maybe it's programmed in
MicroPython?
Python. Yeah, could be either.
Yeah, so that's cool. It's on our blog, Microbit Mondays. And then congratulations, big ups to our friends at the Raspberry Pi Foundation and all the folks who work on Raspberry Pi. They got a Royal Academy Award of Engineering Award. I'll try to zoom in on this. So
Look at all these Texas.
Yeah, it's the Mac Robert. That's such a British Mac Robert.
Mac Robert.
Yeah. We ordered we had a very British. We had pigeon pie.
Pigeon pie.
Yeah, and then there was. What was the other dish that was like super British?
Dick.
Yeah, it was a dessert. Yeah,
pudding.
Yeah, the Mac Robert Prize is UK's top engineering prize, and then the Royal Academy of Engineering and the BBC both have articles. Check it out on our blog. Yeah.
Yay! Congratulations.
Okay. And this week,
look at Liz's awesome dress.
Yeah. This week we don't have any new products, but we have Yay USA. So anything in the store that's in stock besides gift certificates
we
in a box.
decided to push them to next week because there's a lot going on.
Yeah,
next week.
Why don't you say when you should sing it anyways?
No news.
Okay, but I did want to mention one thing. So our newsletter is rocking. If you have an Adafruit account and you go through all the gymnastics that we ask you to go through, that's a term that you've told me. It's because we don't spam. So we have Adafruit Daily, which is our newsletter. Server system completely separate. But for Adafruit customers, you have an Adafruit account and you want to get an email when we have new products. That's in there. You're never signed up unless you do it.
We will not sign you up. It is almost impossible to sign up. You have to like do all this work. You have to make an account, and you have to go and you have to say you on it, and then like you have to say it 5 times.
Yeah, you have to look in the mirror 5 times.
And you have to like we've checked and don't cross your fingers.
Yeah.
So you will not get signed up without
we won't do
you
that.
Personally asking for us to sign you up.
So that's our that's just our notice. So we have a bunch of stuff coming. So
it'll happen
next week. Okay.
Lots of good engineering.
Yeah. So you have some stuff from the vault.
Yeah, because there's no new products.
Yeah.
Like I said, I thought I would just show off what I'm working on.
Yeah. Top secret. This is big news.
Yes.
Boom. What is this, Lady Ada? What is this? Boom.
Double header. We've got the Gemma M0
Boom.
and then the Trinket M0.
Boom. Don't ask about it.
So actually, these were designed a while ago, like many months ago. But they're basically an upgrade to the Gemma and the Trinket to use a SAMD21 chip. So they can do like USB and analog outputs and I2C and SPI, and like they're super powerful chips. You know, you basically get a Arduino 0 or an M0, but in a very small package. We're just doing the final Python tests. The Gemma PCBs have been ordered. Here is one. So you can see I did a couple changes to the design. It has a dot star, like a NeoPixel, for indication. The chip is a little bit bigger, but we get to save a couple passive components. So I kind of squished everything in. Still has the on-off switch, still has all the pins, and it's pin and code compatible with all of our guides. So as long as you're using, like, the pin names are the same, so you can still read analog and do digital and the servos. But of course, you know, you get a true microcontroller with USB, not bitbang. And then the Trinket, you get 5 pins, and then the little dot star LED, and of course you get full power of a Arduino M0 type processor, but in a Trinket form.
Big deal in a small package.
Very big deal. So this one, I'm testing this one now, so you can see I'm just getting the bootloader up and running, and hopefully we'll even get these into MakeCode. That would be really sweet as well. And then I've got this. We finished. Gene did the AMG 8833 breakout, which is a really popular little thermal camera.
Yeah.
So we have a.
I'll put my hand under.
Yeah, put your hand under. Oh my God, you're so hot. So this is a little demo using an ESP feather, and then we put the sensor feathering on top.
Yeah.
And then it's just displaying out to a TFT feather wing. And I want to do some filtering with this, so it's a little faster and maybe also has more point. Right now, actually, I have it printing out the temperature for each block for debugging. But I'd like to see if I can do the bicubic bicubic filtering on this.
Okay. This isn't not out yet, but Microsoft gave us these cool stickers too. Look at that.
Yeah, it's cool.
The little award. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have this card. Okay.
Maybe they gave this away.
Yeah. Okay. Back in the vault with you, secret products.
These are very secret. So
it's super secret.
Secrets.
Back in the vault. Okay, Lady Ada, we're gonna do some questions.
Yeah.
Speed round. Woo, questions. Everybody loves questions.
So those are not out yet, so don't ask.
Yeah. Okay. The questions in the chat were only questions about. It's not out yet, so you can't ask those questions.
It's not out yet.
It's not out yet. You can't ask. Okay. Let me see what questions we got. All the questions are about things that aren't out yet. No. Well, technically, this might be how far away will the cam work? Because we have that product in the store. I think that's a fine question.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It can, it works as far as you want, but just the detection gets bigger and bigger because it's like there's ambient air. So it's like 8 meters is kind of what they recommend for the distance or less. We can get closer is better.
Okay. Any suggestions regarding productizing IoT gadget which has 4 Teensy 3.2s communicating via I2C, trying to figure out architecture that allows updating Teensy's via web online firmware update?
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. If you really want to do over-the-air updates, I would go with something that has the functionality for that. Like, try an NRF52 or an ESP32. Those have over-the-air update capabilities via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Probably going to have more luck with that. It's just tough, especially if you have multiple devices talking to each other, and the bootloader isn't designed for over-the-air updating.
Next up, how many SAMD21s do you think we go through in a week?
In a week, I know that in a month, I think we go through about 10,000, maybe 5,000 to 10,000. It depends on. Like we just did a 3,000 piece run of the Circuit Playground Express, so that's going to.
Okay.
But I say for 5,000 to 10,000.
Have we tried the microbits radio feature?
We have not yet. Actually, I want to see if I can get it to work with our app.
Okay, the NRF52 bootloader, the Bluetooth stuff, is that open source or not?
Nordic released it. No, the NR52.
52.
Their bootloader is public.
Yeah, there's one that isn't.
It's the same as the Arduino one.
Yeah, there's one that we get asked about that they didn't release it as open source.
The NR51 was not released open source. Well, that wasn't. It was confidential.
Yeah.
You have to sign an NDA and you have to see documents for it. The NR52, the bootloader, I don't know technically what the license is, but I know that they released it. Yeah. So I don't know it's basically the same as the Arduino NR52 bootloader, but I don't remember the offhand exactly the URL.
If someone wanted, someone says they're looking for a Adafruit device to send MIDI CC values. Why not?
I mean, any of our devices can do MIDI. It's just UART
Yeah.
at 31250 baud.
We don't have anything that's like, here's
There's
a MIDI
no
thing.
like
yeah.
MIDI things in the shop. We don't really have a MIDI thing.
Yeah, okay. Next up, will that aluminum holder for the silicone mat ever make it to the shop?
You know, I'm thinking about it. The thing is, it's actually quite pricey. I mean, aluminum is
Pricey?
expensive, and
Okay.
so maybe.
Okay. I'm building ATX benchtop power supply. I have a 100 ohms 10 watt resistor. Is that too great? Should I get a 10 ohm 10 watt?
Well, the smaller the resistor, the bigger the wattage. I'd try. I mean, depends. Every power supply is gonna be a little different on what they need to stabilize. So try to get away with what you got. If
Yeah.
not, shrink it.
Someone asked, do we like foxes? I like foxes. They're
Foxes are cute, yeah, cute.
It's like
They're
a cat
cute.
dog.
Yeah.
I used to feed a fox at the bus stop in the middle of nowhere in Florida. And I used to feed it Velveeta, the slices of cheese, and I befriended a fox.
Yes.
Yeah.
Foxes love fake cheese.
They do. Okay. Can the Guardians from Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild built with today's technology? Don't we have a...
I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Are they robots? I haven't
Maybe.
played that game because I can't get
Okay.
a Switch because like you can't get a Switch.
ETA for Blueford Easy Key? No ETA. Waiting on stuff. Temperature sensor camera work in cold environment.
It works down to 0 degrees centigrade. It's the sensing
Yeah.
can go from 0 to 80.
Any boards with you, BC? Yeah, we'll get to it eventually. Can we come to Brazil? We don't go on planes. Adafruit. Someone wants on Twitch to know if you sell Adafruit Pride stickers. No, but people have asked us, and I think by next year we will. It's been, yeah, we have our Pride flag, and then we have a thing. I just want to make sure we're not monetizing something.
People can also download the images and then just make their own stickers, which is what we kind of did.
Like it's a social cause. I want to make sure that someone's like, oh, you're just capitalizing on a movement that a lot of people care about. So maybe this is one where we just put out all the files and people can make their own. Okay.
That's the open source way.
Yeah. Let's see. Why don't you go on planes? Because you have to go to airports.
I don't like going on planes.
You have to wait in line, and everyone's
who likes going?
everyone's
on
mean and terrible, and everything sucks. And we're in New York, and a lot of
stuffy. It smells weird.
No, it's terrible.
I don't like it.
Yeah, you don't like it at all.
No, I don't.
It takes a lot. We go on planes. We went on planes to go see
Picking Faces?
Apex to go see giant machines
And buy them.
and buy them.
Yeah.
We went to the Machine Planet.
Yeah, that's the last time we went on a plane. It's kind of nice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all the questions. Let me check over Twitch. They want to port the motor shield to M0 running CircuitPython. Any bits you should know other than the date on the product page?
No, I don't. I think it's possible. We may even have a MicroPython version, so you'd have to just do the slight modifications to make it CircuitPython compatible. But it's totally possible to do. I don't know if you'd be able to necessarily fit like all the micro stepping stuff, but you could try. I mean, it probably would work.
Yeah. Okay. Well, with that are the questions. Good work, Lady Ada. Zip, zip, zip. We'll be here next week for more questions, of course. Okay. Don't forget the codes. Yay, USA. Yay, USA.
Yay.
Yay. Home of Gothtronics. Lady Ada, trivia question. What are the rules?
The rules are the first person to call the phone wins a special prize.
I thought we'd give away a copy of 2600.
We're going to give away a copy of 2600.
And we'd sign the pages with our article.
If they want.
Yeah. What are the rules?
The rules are the first person to call gets this fabulous 2600 magazine that we have an article in. It's also just like chock full of cool, subversive technology and pictures of payphones. If you won something from this show before, no entering. Please let someone else win. We want everyone to have a chance to get a fabulous prize. When you, so the real quiz, the trivia question itself is, after you call, I'm going to ask you your name and where you're calling from and a project that you're working on or you want to work on. And you have to answer those questions.
All right.
If you hang up, you're not going to win.
And with that being said, the phone lines are open.
Call this number.
Phone lines are open. That's
Call
the phone
this
number. Own Bitstab.
Call this number. Name.
I'm really
Where
surprised
calling
this works. Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Hello, you have reached Ask an Engineer. What is your name and where are you calling from?
I got through.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, this is John K. Shastall. I was on your show and tell with my tapeless measure.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Well, you got your Fortran 77 too. All right, well, you win.
You won.
The magazine. Thank you, John K., for both showing up on the show and tell.
And he showed his project, so
we
we know what he's working on.
So we know what you're working on.
What are you working on next, John?
So what's your next project? What's your next project?
My next project is, well, that's Rosie. That's going to be my robotic arm with open M7 camera.
Yeah.
I've got my speech processor and recognizer.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a long-term project. Also, again, Tapeless Measure 2, version 2 is in the works.
Can you say?
Oh, yeah, where are you calling from?
I got a lot going on.
Where are you calling
and
from?
Where are you calling from, physically, like your state?
Oh, I'm calling from Chicago.
Chicago!
Oh, great. Yay, Chicago.
Okay, sweet. All right, well, thank you, John K. from Chicago. Thank you for calling. Thank you for showing up. Be sure to show up on the show and tell with your future projects, which I'm sure you will, because you got a really nice setup now. We're going to send you this 2600 magazine.
Yeah, we'll sign it.
All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com, SUPPORT@Adafruit. Say this is John K. from Chicago.
It's an article about MP3. You might like that.
And yeah, the article's about MP3 chips, so maybe you'll be into it. And thank you for calling.
Great. Thank you very much. I love your show.
Yeah,
thanks,
have a
John.
great night.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Happy birthday, USA.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye, John. Okay.
Okay. And if you tried to call and you can get in, leave a message, say something nice, sing something. We're here. Yay. Okay. Well, Lady Ada, guess what? That's the show this week.
That's a show.
Epic show. Thank you, everybody. Don't forget codes. Yay, USA.
Yay.
Supports us, an open source hardware company here in New York City. Yay, USA.
Yay.
We can do this. We can make this good together. Let's build something together.
Let me see how hot you are. Wow. You're hot.
Yeah. MOSFET, the cat, likes to sit on top of me at all times because I run a little hot. It's a thing.
Yeah, thermal camera's good for telling how hot. We should totally take this home and then see how hot the cat is. He has like thermal vision. He knows what the hottest place is.
No, he looks around. He's like Predator.
He's
like, whoosh, whoosh, fills lap.
Yeah.
Fills lap.
Sometimes it's the heating pad.
Yeah. If you pull him off his heating pad or me, he has this little thing that he presses and he tries to detonate like Predator.
Yeah?
But it doesn't work.
Okay.
It's just catnip.
Does he have like weapons too?
He has claws, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. Thank you, everyone. Remote team members, Adafruit staff members, everyone who's helping out with the show. Thank you, everyone in the Discord chat for keeping it cool. And thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. We got an epic show next week. It's going to be epic. All right. Here's a picture of MOSFET the cat. And here's your moment of Zener. Bye, everybody.